Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Tier 8 Soviet Premium Heavy Tank, the Scourge Kirovets 1. Now this is a tank that a lot of people will be earning pretty much around abouts now, I imagine. Or will have probably already earned it in the earn-up that's currently going on. Now what do I think about the Scourge Kirovets 1? Well, the Scourge is probably the best Tier 8 Soviet Heavy Tank to me, personally. Now, why do I say that? It's because the armour's pretty damn nice. It's to me, anyway, personally, it's a little bit better than an IS-3. It's not got the pike nose, which when flat on, generally is a little bit worse. But, I mean, the upper plate is actually better for the lack of the pike in terms of its armour thickness. That's what it gains in turn of losing the pike nose. So it's like 140mm thick on the upper plate instead of 120, but it's flat. But it is angled down, which is good, and to be honest, it makes it easier to side scrape in, which to me makes the armour infinitely better. For me personally, it means that the give that you can get from the tank is amazing. Add to that the fact that you've already seen the good mobility to get into this aggressive position that we're in now. The mobility of this tank is fantastic. The gun handling on the tank is, for the gun it's got, one of the better gun handling guns for the Russian heavies. APCR is standard with heat. The velocity is really nice. The accuracy is, I think it's pretty decent from standard compared to something like the Glory IS-5 or the IS-3A or the Scourge that also uses the same gun. The reverse speed is also incredible. 20 kilometers an hour backwards is just rapid. This tank is a fantastic heavy tank at Tier 8. One of the things it lacks is ammo. To be honest, that's about all I'd say. The turret is something you've got to be aware of as well. The turret's really good, right? But just be aware that because of the fact that it is actually the stock IS-3 turret, it does have a bit of an issue in that if someone's got about 270 odd pen, they can go through the turret cheeks right next to your gun. And you just got to be aware of that. But that's where not sitting in front of an opponent and just sitting still and keeping him moving really helps your armour. So, I actually run a rammer, vert stabs and optics on this tank. Optics because you want to make your view range better. Vert stabs because the gun handling is better on this gun than it is on the other tanks that I've listed, but it's still not great, so you want to help it out as much as you possibly can, and rammer just to keep that DPM going as good as possible. So we're on cliff, and we've taken a very aggressive position down this 1-2 line. We're getting good spotting out. We've managed to spot both artilleries, put them in a bad position, but now we're getting rushed from behind, and it's this Leopard PTA. And the Leopard PTA's come up, and it's like, right, okay, you know what? You're there, no one else is going to help me attack you. I'm just getting rid of you. We run in, give him a slap, ram him so he's now a one-shot for us, and we actually get saved there, because we get shot by the Diamondback that's camping in that position at D1. And that meant that the Leopard, who would have out-reloaded us, would have finished us off. But fortunately enough, one of our teammates shuts the Leopard down, and now we're just facing this Diamondback. And this is where the armour of the Scourge comes into play, because the armour on this tank is fantastic. It's a great side scraper, and now we can just side scrape out against this Diamondback. We're loading the heat so that we can guaranteed go through this guy's lower plate, because the guy's lower plate is very well angled and very frustrating to fire at. So we're loaded the heat to make sure that we go through it. We're fully aimed the shot as we pull round, pen him, and now we're going to just move a little bit closer to this rock, right? We've been bouncing him off our side while side scraping this guy, but I want to get a little bit closer so that we can try and spot him out when he fires, because he got unspotted. And now we're just pummeling this guy with the heat to pen him pretty much every time through his lower plate, which is the only place we will be able to pen him. And pretty much the only place we'll be able to pen him with heat as well, because the APCR will ricochet because of normalisation and all that. But we're trying to just bait his shots. As soon as he fires, that's when we pull out and fire at him. He's resorted to firing HE now, because I think he's got bored of bouncing on our side armour. I mean, we've blocked 2.7k at the minute. We pull out again, fire straight through his... Well, he's really weirdly angled there because he was up a cliff. We probably could have penned him with APCR, but we didn't know that when we fired it. We shut him down. We were actually fairly lucky as well, because I think the last 2 shots, looking at that there, we weren't actually aimed at him. So the shots went a little bit high and ended up pending him anyway, so we'll take it. But now we'll switch back to the APCR, and we're going to go try and get some shots at the guys that are on the cliff. This Tiger 1 spotted, we're going to see if we can get a shot at him. We actually get lit up, so we've just got to be a bit careful. And it's actually this light tank that's coming behind us, so we're just going to try and get into a position where we can shut down this T-71DA, or CMCD, sorry. And we shut down the CMCD. And again, like I say, I want to get rid of the guys on the hill. Now, in terms of my crew in this tank, I actually do run pretty much the standard heavy tank setup for me. And that is Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Trap Mechanics, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, so the normal 6 perks that I would always run on every single tank. Then Snapshot, Run and Gun, and Armour Angling. Armour Angling, obviously reduce the amount of damage you're taking from tanks. Always handy. Run and Gun and Snapshot, obviously, because you just want to make the gun as good as you possibly can. But even if you do that, you still might miss shots, because it is a Russian heavy tank. And unfortunately, we missed the shot at that Scorpion G. It wasn't the most well-aimed shot in the universe, so we get a nice shot into him there. He clearly knew exactly where we were and tried to pop a blind shot at us, so we're lucky we pulled back when we did. He ended up missing us, thankfully, and now there is only the artillery left on the enemy team. So we're going to go after that guy. We're going to hopefully get the shot into the piggy, but it doesn't look like it because he's just behind the wrong sorts of cover for us. But he gets shut down by the STI, or ST1 even, and we finish with a victory. And come top, we finished with 4 kills, 4.4k damage, 1600 assistance, ace tanker, the Spartan medal for ricochet and loads of shells in a row. High caliber, steel wall, again for the armor blocking, 2k base. Very nice game for the Scourge. Like I say, just this all-round tank. This all-round tank is a fantastic vehicle. Like I said, the armor's great, the gun's decent for a Russian heavy, the reload's not too bad. Like I said, the mobility is just great for the tank. The all-round tank is fantastic. And that APCR standard on it as well is very, very nice. So we're on to the second game. And on this second game, we're on Sand River. What I'm thinking of doing is going into the riverbed and just getting as aggressive as possible. Because the matchmaking in this game is pretty damn diddly decent. And I'm feeling being aggressive because there's only 3 heavy tanks on their team. And that means that if we get rid of those guys, there's not much to oppose us, really. So I was thinking at first, should I go up to where this Wraith is going? I thought, no, you know what, I've spotted this medium tank elsewhere, this Atomic. He looks like he's being aggressive and he's pushing into a weird place, so why not? We get a nice shot into him. We end up bouncing him because, like I say, the armor's good. Go for a shot into his upper plate. I was expecting him to turn a little bit more, but he didn't actually turn. So we ended up only tracking him. But we're going to make sure we get the shot into his mid plate there, which is really nice. And now we can push the tempo, push into this Atomic, and try and get some damage. Because there's clearly nothing camping at J9 roundabouts on the hills. Because our light tank pushed very aggressively. Spotted anything that could be camping down the K line too, and there was only a 110. So I'm pretty happy to push into this very aggressive position and try and get rid of this Atomic. Now, unfortunately, right there is where you learn that auto-aiming is the worst thing you can do at times. You just have to aim. Because the way he angled himself made it that the mid part of his tank that the auto-aim locked onto gave me most of his turret to shoot. And his turret was going to bounce my shot every time. So, don't be me. Aim your shots properly. So, unfortunately, we didn't shut down the Atomic, but the Citadel that's with us did. Now that P43 is going to have a hard time penning us. He's only got like 160 pen, 190 on his premium. I think it's 190 on his premium anyway. I'm trying to pull it out of my memory. That means he's going to really struggle if he's firing standard rounds, which he is. He has to hit the lower plate, and even the lower plate might be too good for him. So I'm pretty confident with that guy. We drive around the corner. There's a Wraith sitting out in the open, so we quite happily slap a shot into him. And we are in the perfect position for this Wraith right now. We shut down... Well, no, we don't shut down the Skoda. We don't roll high enough, which we're never going to anyway. We don't shut down the Skoda, but we're in the perfect place for this tank because we're hull down, for the most part. We're facing a decent amount of tanks that will struggle to pen us. The Tiger 1 won't. The Tiger 1 could pen us if he hits the right spot. But with us being hulled down at the minute, he is going to struggle. Now, there's a VK101P around the corner. He is a bit of a problem. We get a nice shot into the Tiger 1. We saw a shot whiz at us there from their sniper little spot at G9. And I was thinking, there must be something there unspotted. Like, obviously, I'm thinking it might be the Wraith. But the Wraith is here, and it's like, okay, there might be something there. I've just got to keep that in mind. And now this Wraith is playing very aggressively. Pushes out into the open. Aim for the tracking shot on him, which we get, and we pen him. Perfect result. And we're just going to keep waiting for the reload, keep popping out, and fire as soon as we've reloaded. We shut down the Wraith. And now we've got the Tiger 1 that's directly in front of us. He pens us in the lower plate. Yeah, we just got to be careful a little bit. So, right now I drive out, pop a shot into the SU-100M1. We bounce something from the back, and it's like, I forgot about that. I'll just keep pulling back. We're not messing with this. Wait for the reload, try and get the shot into the Tiger 1's turret, but unfortunately he pulls forward just at that moment. The shell misses, we wiggle the gun with a bit of frustration, and now we're just going to pull forward again. And we get slapped by the ISU, and that's what it is. I kept being a little bit aggressive, and I wanted to try and push under the guns of these guys, and then I'm just being a little bit too aggressive at that point. The ISU taught us a lesson, and yeah, we're definitely going to be wary, because it's definitely, now we know it's an ISU. It's like, okay, it's not something that's not going to hurt us, it's something that's really going to hurt us. We don't want to mess with that. This VK101P in front of us is going to be a right pain. We need heat to pen it, which we've only got left. The ISU is spotted, and I think, you know what, I need to get a shot into this guy. I need to hopefully get rid of him, which we get a nice shot in. We're waiting for the reload. He ends up ricocheting on a Citadel, which is weird. Looking for the shot at the artillery, we can't quite see it. We see where the shot comes from with the ISU. We get the shot in, and now that guy must be a one-shot for us. We end up bouncing the VK101P, which is nice as well. We have to hit that guy's cupola with the heat to pen it, or hit the lower plate. If we're firing heat at his side, there's a high likelihood that we won't pen it, because the heat will just get absorbed by the spaced armour, which would be awkward. But I don't want to be too aggressive, because obviously that ISU, we're not going to spot it if it sits in the bushes. We're not going to spot it. We've clearly just seen that if we pull out, he fires at us, and we're out in the open, we won't spot him, which is, yeah, not good. This 1375 drives in the open. We try and snap a shot at him. At this point, I haven't quite realised I only have heat in, so I'm leading it a little bit too much. The explosion in front of me throws me off a little bit, and we end up missing the shell again, like the 1375. We've got to be a bit careful, because we're running out of ammo. The VK101P gets shut down, which is nice, and now I want to go hug this medium tank in front of me, and I'm trying to just bait this ISU to fire. The ISU fires, which is perfect, and we are now just going to drive forward. The ISU gets spotted. Unfortunately, we end up missing the ISU, which is really unfortunate, but he gets shut down by the T-34-100, and we're just going to push for the artillery now, because I want to try and get the shot on this artillery. Great driving comes into play. We crash into a rock. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. No, nothing wrong with my driving. Not at all. No, I don't know what you're on about. Stop it, you, from the back of the room. My driving's perfect, alright? God damn. So now there's only one tank left. And it's a TD, because we didn't get to the piggy, which is unfortunate. We just weren't allowed to shoot the piggies in this game, or this video. Well, finish them off anyway. We got to shoot one in the last game. And we're trying to work out where the Jagdpanzer IV will be. And it's like, right, where are you, Mr. Jagdpanzer IV? I'm thinking maybe he's camping in one of these positions. He's just hidden in a nook or a cranny round here, because he is a bottom tier TD that might have, you never know, just given up. But he gets spotted in our base. He's flanked all the way around. So it's like, right, okay, let's try and get into a position where we can shoot this guy. We're having a really good game. We've bounced 4.5k. Like I say, the armour on this tank is great when you're top tier. When you're bottom tier, it's still good for the ability to side scrape, which is fantastic on this tank as well. Like I say, we've done 5.6k damage, which is great for a tier 8 heavy. And we've got 1600 assistance, which is also nice. So, what am I thinking? I'm thinking this guy is in the cap, right? This guy's in the cap. I'm not going to get there ahead of this medium tank or heavy tank. So I want to put myself in a position where I'm at the highest elevation and I can get a shot into the cap. Hopefully he's in a position where he's kind of out in the open and he's not really tucked into the dunes on the right hand side, on the closer to the 3 line. I want him to be closer to the 1 line. And if I can get on top of these dunes, I might get a shot at him. I might have an angle. So we actually get up on top of the dunes here, and like I say, you can see right into the cap. If he's in the perfect place, we can get the shot, which we do, and we shut him down. So if someone's in the cap like that, that is a good place to go if you're not going to beat everyone else. So we finished with 3 kills, 6k damage, 1600 assistance, 4.5k blocked, ace tanker, the Spartan medal again for blocking loads of damage with the steel wall and the high caliber, 2.3k base XP, which is a great result for this tank, 7.6k combined, 3 kills, Scourge Kirovets 1. What a tank, it's a beast, you're all going to enjoy it when you get it. It's the best Russian heavy. So as always everybody, thank you very much for watching, I'll see you next time.
A great success!